Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the last edition of Business Morning on Channels Television, and we're broadcasting live from Lagos, Nigeria. Just before I went on that quick break, I told you the conversation on the program today is going to be about spotting opportunities in a difficult environment. I know you're going to say that it's quite timely, especially since we have a lot of challenges that we're dealing with: infrastructure, credit facilities, and the rest of it, and the list goes on. But then, in spite of those challenges, there are opportunities. And I have two gentlemen in the studio with me who are going to be talking about how you can readily find those opportunities and tap into them and make them work for you. And of course, it can be fun all the way, in spite of the challenges, that is. I'm being joined by two business development experts, Osebor and Edward Esene. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Harriet.
Well, we just we've had a very eventful week and the rest of it. On Monday, of course, the Monetary Policy Committee started its meeting and ended on Tuesday, and there were no changes in the rates. And so those are one of the factors that I am sure when entrepreneurs are thinking about starting a business, they actually look at. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at it. Spotting opportunities in a difficult environment. There are business opportunities everywhere. Everybody says so. But how easy is it for you to see this opportunity, identify it, harness it, and work with it?
Edward, you want to shoot first?
Okay, as it is, there are a lot of opportunities in this country, and we say that because we believe with our enormous potentials and some of the obvious challenges that we're going through, there are a lot of opportunities that business people, entrepreneurs can pay attention to and enhance. Now, what is opportunity basically? Opportunity is a need in the market, a gap, something that someone is not attending to, or the current providers are not giving their optimal best to it. So in terms of spotting opportunities, what a business person has to do, what the entrepreneur has to do, is to pay attention. If you want to talk about spotting opportunity as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you must be able to pay attention to some basic things. One of such is, what are people complaining about? What are the challenges? Now, if you join the loops, if we take complaints as part of avenues of spotting opportunity, as a business person, if you join the loop, if you contribute to that complaint, what is not working, you are missing out on the opportunity. That's my take.
Well, you see, I find that particularly interesting, especially since, I talked about the fact that the MPC meeting ended on Tuesday, and they announced that they were not changing any of the rates. The benchmark interest rate was left at 12%. Okay. The cash reserve requirement on public deposit was left at 75%, and one on private sector on 15%. Okay. Now, of course, this invariably affects the way the banks would do business and how they would lend.
True.
So I see a gap in the market. I see an opportunity for me to take it, but I do not have the credit to pursue that opportunity that I'm looking at. So at the end of the day, I'm still back to square one. I'm going to sit down still and twiddle my thumbs, or not. Joel?
What I would say is those macroeconomic issues and even the big problems when it comes to spotting opportunities. I think they should be the least challenges or least problems entrepreneurs really want to get themselves worried about. For spotting opportunities, about meeting needs. The truth is, the more you begin to meet the needs of people, the more you begin to solve problems for the over 160 million Nigerians.
But to meet those needs, I have to have funds.
You have to have, it's not funds, you have to have a solution.
But the only way I can get a solution is if I have the funds to provide.
Funds don't provide solution. You provide solution first, that the funds are going to feed, that the funds will meet. Because if you don't have the right solution for the market, then even the banks that want to give you funds, before they give you the funds, they want to know that the market, you have identified an opportunity, is massive, the number is there, and people are able to afford the needs, and people are able to afford the product and services. The bank or the investor needs to see that there's potential in this opportunity you have spotted.
In other words,
there's only profit.
The entrepreneur should do research.
Yes, exactly. That has to come first before the issues of whether the interest rate is 12%.
But in doing your research, all those things have to come in.
It will. But the truth is, when you sell and you make more profit, I'm not sure you're going to spend up to 2% or 3% of that amount in trying to cover all of those cost of running the business or cost of funding the opportunity. I think it's a psychological problem for us here. We always think that we must have everything that we need to get our business started before we start up the business. No, the thing is, where are the problems? Where do people need solutions? How can I provide it? How can I convert that idea, that concept into a product, into a service that will solve that need? I think that's the very first thing. And that's what we're talking about, the subject. I would say the issues of funding is a secondary thing.
What about infrastructure?
Well, it's still a secondary thing. It's still a secondary thing because there are people out there looking out for very good business ideas. I would say one of the major challenges, information gap. I have an idea. Who can help me? Where can I go? Where can I research the information? Who can I meet? Where are the investors that can help me get this, that can help me crystallize this idea and can help me in the process of solving the problems we've identified in our society.
So now, in looking at identifying these problems on where you can provide the opportunities where you can provide solution, how can market mapping, that's segmenting the market to see the gap, actually begin to help?
Market mapping is very, very important because, again, there is no one single product for everybody. You talk to some entrepreneurs, especially those aspiring or just at their early startup, they are very excited about what they've seen or what they are about to go into, and they say, who is your target market? And they say, everybody. But again, there is no a single product for everybody. So you have to segment the market. You have to know which segments are your highest contributors to your product that would patronize the product. Then again, that brings us to market segmentation is also very linked with market product fit, product market fit. So people have ideas. They have ideas are developing to product or services, but they are not fitting into the market needs.
What about location?
Location is key. It's part of your product market fit, because if you take a right product, a right service to a wrong location, you are invariably going to be suffering from patronage. So in coming up with your business idea, there are some key success factor, in looking at starting your business. So funding is not the main thing again. There's a business incubation process you can go to. One of such is for you to also develop your business plan. And if you are a startup and you're having problem with funding, we have options, which is like Joe said, access to information. You can look at an angels network. You can look at programs that will give you aids and grants, since most startups are not qualified to even approach some of these banks in terms of their credit ratings, their documentations, their lack of collateral. They don't have the credibility to attract credit.
Let me come in just to step down Edward's very high pitch there. In terms of the market segmentation, it's basically the entrepreneur or whatever opportunity you have spotted in the market, you need to be able to classify it. That's what market segmentation is about. In terms of classification, who are the people that have need for this opportunity that I've found? In marketing, there are basically major three areas you want to look at in terms of demography, because you need to know, okay, this product, this opportunity I've spotted, is it for female people? Is it for male?
Is it gender sensitive?
Yeah, okay, you get that.
Is it age sensitive?
Age sensitive? Is it in terms of income? Because not every product that when you talk about target market, I always say you need to look at two things when you're looking at your target market. People that have need, then people that can afford to pay for that need. Then you've identified your target market. There are people that have the need for your product, but they don't have money to pay for it. Those guys can be your target market at that moment in time. And there are people, they have money to pay, but they don't have need for your product. They can be your target market. So you need to be able to look at demography. Then another level you need to look at is psychography. On that level you need to look at, I mentioned location, geographical. This opportunity I've spotted, will it be good for the guys in the southwest Nigeria, north central, northwest? Will it sell in the south, or will the location be like the kind of product you sell? For example, based on the location mapping, like a product you want to sell for the Lekki Axis guys, if you take it to
Mushi.
The Mushi guys, In terms of geographical,
like a polo store in Mushin.
then
Or
you
like
know
a
it's very
Ferrari store
challenging.
in
Yeah, like a
Mushin.
Ferrari store. It really will not make sense.
Those are the sensitive things you need to really look at when you're spotting opportunity in terms of market segmentation. When the needs have been identified, when the problems have been seen and you have solution for them, then you need to break them. Even in terms of age, you need to look at what age bracket. You can't be sewing, but maybe to use this word, below the waist jeans that we have today. You want to sell it to my great-grandmother that is over 90 years, and she's a lady. So all of those things, they are very critical in when you're thinking about selling in a difficult market, knowing the needs of the people.
No, so how exactly does one begin to, become good at spotting opportunities? Because you see, people say you're either good at it or you're not good at it. You either have it or you don't have it.
Exactly.
Edo said something. You have to be very sensitive to your business environment. You can even start from yourself. What are those things you're lacking? What are those things you need met in your life? And sometimes it could come by, I want to say, through insight. A lot of us have insight. We work with our sixth sense. People call it different things, from your chi, from the universe, from the Holy Spirit, from this and that. It helps also for you to identify needs in the market. It can also be from franchise.
But then, sorry, finish your thoughts.
Okay, it could be from franchise. It might be a new innovation you're looking at. Maybe industry needs. So, for example, Nigeria, one of the biggest need we want solution for now is security, and everybody is thinking, how can we solve this? How can we get? That's a big need, and anybody that can bring a very strong solution for the government, that person will become one of the richest entrepreneurs Nigerians ever had. That is spotting opportunity. Where there are problems, we run away from problems, but the truth is, problems are opportunities defined.
Yeah. Let me just quickly add to what Joe said. Like we've established earlier, it's very, very important for you to be skilled in opportunity. There are companies that have opportunities, they have trendists in the developed clients, because you can't just rest on your house as a company and you want to go 100 years, 200 years. The company has to keep spotting opportunities, has to keep developing products, have to keep reinventing products so that you can stand the test of time. So it's a skill that most business people and entrepreneurs should know how to do. And we're saying that the start point is for you to be able to pay attention. It will also surprise you to know that one of the places you can spot opportunities is by paying attention, say for instance, to something as simple as a refuse dump. You get to see what are people spending their money on. What's the direction of money around where you're staying. Is that simple? You get to know that, these are the needs, because these are what people are spending money on. Then again, something as simple as paying attention to the government policy. A simple government policy, either a ban, an incentive, or a physical instrument, can open up an industry. It can also close up an industry. Just like the Okada ban in Lagos. That was an opportunity that went down and opened up. Exactly. Do you understand? But most business people don't pay attention to some of these things.
No, but even at that, even with the very good example that you've given there, with the tricycles storming the market, it didn't mean it met the demand at that particular point in time.
But it doesn't solve the problem.
It hasn't solved the problem.
But we're just talking about opportunities at this level. So instead of complaining that, I've been kicked out of business, I don't have a tricycle, a bicycle, and Okada for my business, some other persons has moved on, they've cashed on it could be a ban, it could be the FBU's policy, it could be anything. But I'm saying, if you want to be very good at spotting opportunities, these are some of the areas you should pay attention to, amongst many other things again.
But then, let me still come back to this particular example that you've just made. A situation where we have the banning of Okadas in Lagos, for instance, and then we saw an incursion of tricycles, keke napep, and the rest of it. And then it's getting to the point where they're becoming a nuisance, and it looks very probable that they will also
be
banned.
They are on their way
so
out.
That's an opportunity.
Don't fit into the Lagos mega city plan.
It's an opportunity waiting to happen. But how many keen entrepreneurs have actually seen that opportunity waiting to happen and looked at another stopgap that can quickly be put in before the government brings in another measure that will alleviate the transport situation, which definitely will happen when that happens.
I want to come look at this from two dimensions, and it's very critical. One, starting with the guys that really want to go into tricycles. Is that the best that they can really do? When it comes to entrepreneurship and business and providing solution, there's a lot of stake in self-esteem, knowing who you are. I think we have a lot of challenges with our minds as a people. Only very few Nigerians have been able to, break that ceiling of, we can't remain poor, I can't remain this person. So there need to be a lot of mindshare. Okay, for example, in terms of even development in transportation or development of infrastructure in Lagos State, one of our mentors will always say, until the mind is developed, whatever infrastructures the government will put in place may not last. And you can tell over time, most of the infrastructures, maybe street light, the roads, the pipelines, they are being vandalized by minds that are not developed. So the tricycle guys, that's not the best they can do. Yes, they have the touch, they have the passion to be entrepreneurs. But I think that's not the only opportunity that they've started. That's what I'm trying to drive out. As an entrepreneur, you need to look at your strength. They need to look at their strength. The truth is, we try to define our successes based on external happenings, what the government is doing, what is happening in our environment, and we really forget that as entrepreneurs, it is first within. You start from within you. You succeed within you. You see a product within you. You see an opportunity within you. You see a solution within you before it actually manifests. So we need to break that cycle of that. It must be about what is happening at the external, then I begin to think about doing a business. So in terms of government policies and other entrepreneurs seeing opportunities there, you can develop trainings. Before they move from Okada to, we develop a proposal in our organization. And one of the things we are not recommending is the tricycle. That's not a solution. There are other developed economies that have issues like this. They have good transport systems. What happened? How did they survive? How did the UK survive their transport system? What did they do? Those are the kind of models we should think about as we spot opportunity in the market. Where can we move these guys to from tricycle?
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break.
Right.
When we come back, we're going to look at how, for small businesses particularly, how when you find those opportunity, how can you grow your customer base? So we're going to take a quick break. You're still watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and we're coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. Let's take a quick break and come back and continue this conversation, which is on business development, spotting opportunities in a difficult environment.